Will Sam Bankman-Fried go to jail? That's the #1 question on my mind when it comes to this FTX fiasco. Well, I think there's a case to be made for both yes and no. But before you get mad at me for going soft on Sam, hold up, because this is not going to be some puff piece. To be clear, I am not saying that he doesn't belong in jail. I'm just trying to look at all the facts to see if it's likely that he goes to jail or not. So on the yes side, we have the fact that he broke several laws with how he operated FTX. I'm talking about breaking their terms of service, which explicitly states that he can't touch user funds. Or the secret backdoor access that he built to fudge their books, that's also illegal. Or at the very least, the fact that he mishandled and commingled user funds. All of those are against the law. And heck, we recently saw Elizabeth Holmes get 11 years in prison. So if she got that much time, it's reasonable to think that SBF will have to do time as well. But on the other hand, there are some reasons to think he won't go to jail. First of all, he's overseas, and his company is based in the Bahamas. So what happens to him largely depends on Bahamian officials and what they want to do. One big question is, how many of their officials was Sam able to capture before it all came crashing down? After all, the former chairman of the Bahamian SEC served as a board member of FTX Malta before. So Sam definitely has friends in high places over there, and hence they may go easy on him. Another question is, will Sam be able to convince US officials that it was all just an honest mistake? I know we in the crypto world don't believe that, but it seems that the mainstream media and various politicians like him, and hence may go soft on him. So taking this all into account, I'm predicting that he will spend some time in jail, but I don't think we'll find out anytime soon, because the justice system is slow to act. I mean heck, Theranos ended in 2018, and Elizabeth Holmes was just now sentenced. Anyways, this SBF to jail question was just the first burning question on my mind, but I have 13 other unanswered questions that I'm super curious about. Like, what will happen to Caroline? And is this the end of Solana? Questions like those that I know everyone is dying to know. So let's run through them real quick, and I'll share my predictions for each one. Okay, so my second burning question still has to do with Sam. Specifically, I'm wondering, is he delusional? He keeps talking about how he's going to take back control of his company from the bankruptcy courts, and how he's going to raise billions of dollars to make everyone whole. I mean, I think there could be a chance that he wins the jurisdiction battle for the Bahamas, but in terms of raising billions of dollars, hell no. We're in a bear market right now, money is tight, and there's no way he's able to raise that much. So I give him less than 1% chance of succeeding, and I think Sam needs to come back down to earth here. But Sam is just one of the main characters in the saga, and another one is his friend Caroline Ellison, the CEO of Alameda Research. Everyone is super mad at her for her role in this debacle, so that makes me wonder, will she go to jail? Well, according to reports, she admitted to her team that Alameda borrowed customer funds from FTX and that she and SBF knew about it. If that is true, I think jail time is more likely. But on the other hand, maybe she gets off easier than SBF. Because did you know that even though she was CEO, Alameda was still owned 90% by Sam and 10% by Gary Wang? That's what it said in the bankruptcy filing, which means she might be able to argue that they had more control over what happened than her. Also, she's gone pretty silent since this all went down, and last we heard she was in Hong Kong and supposedly trying to flee to Dubai. I have no idea if that's even true, but if she was able to make it to Dubai, then the chances of jail time drop way down for her, because that is a non-extradition country after all. Okay, so we know Caroline ran the hedge fund while Sam ran the exchange, but one thing I'm wondering is, how did they even lose that much money? Because reports put their combined whole at around $8 billion. And of course we know about the political donations, the penthouse purchases, and the loans they took out to buy various companies. But even those combined don't get us close to 8 billion. So what could possibly explain that enormous hole? Well, one under-the-radar explanation is that Alameda was actually really bad at trading. Sam Trabucco, the former CEO of Alameda, admitted that they stopped doing market-neutral strategies around late 2020, and instead, they started trading the news. So instead of using their math and quantitative skills to gain an edge, they were going YOLO long like a bunch of degens. He even said that they bought and held Doge for several months because of Elon tweets. So while that may have worked during the bull run, the bear market inevitably wrecked them. Now, another interesting explanation is that Alameda got wrecked by holding a lot of toxic assets like Luna and UST. They are the main market maker on FTX after all, so they are in charge of doing liquidations. But when they liquidate traders, they end up with whatever assets they were trading. So the theory goes that they ended up with a lot of Luna and UST, went to zero faster than they could do anything about it. This all sounds super logical to me, and I can see how their degen longs plus their toxic assets gets us closer to that 8 billion amount. Now, besides Caroline and Sam, the other main character in the saga would have to be CZ. Many people are crowning him the king of crypto after this FTX collapse. But when I look at the facts, I wonder, did CZ really win here? I mean, on first glance, it definitely looks like he won. One of his biggest competitors is gone, and Binance was able to soak up all of their volume. But on the other hand, regulators are increasing their scrutiny on Binance, suggesting that they may be at fault for what happened to FTX. Even in the crypto world, more and more people are starting to sour on CZ. They see him as a spreader of FUD and as someone who can't be trusted. Remember how he said he was interested in buying FTX and later Genesis lending assets? Both times he pulled out, which makes me wonder if he even wanted to buy those or if he was just trying to gather intel for his own benefit. So yeah, time will tell how this plays out for CZ, but I wouldn't be too quick to crown him the king or the winner here. Now, my next unanswered question has to do with Contagion. But before we get there, I want to point out that this whole debacle has created a ton of distrust in centralized exchanges. People are moving away from those in record numbers and are looking for alternatives. But which ones should we go with? Well, one option is to consider a personalized crypto brokerage. These services give you a personal broker who you can call at any time to ask questions, and they also execute your orders for you. If that sounds up your alley, then you should definitely check out Caleb and Brown, also our partner and sponsor of this video. They are not some fly-by-night brokerage. They've been servicing thousands of clients around the world since 2017, and they take risk management and client protection super seriously. For example, they hold our funds on a one-to-one basis. Our balances are backed 100% by full reserves, and they don't do anything with our funds unless we give them explicit direction to. I've actually been trying them out myself, and I met my personal broker Sam already. I can tell that he and his team have a lot of experience in this space. In fact, I'm having a fireside chat with Jake Boyle, their CCO, on December 7th. Jake has been in crypto since 2012, so he's seen it all, and we're going to chat about how to survive crypto winter, as well as our biggest predictions for 2023. You don't want to miss that free event. I promise you it'll be packed with alpha. Just register using my link below. Okay, back to FTX, and what I'm wondering is, how long will the contagion last? Well, my guess is that this collapse added an extra 6 months to our bear market. Before, I thought that the crypto bear market would end along with the macro bear market. But because of this crypto-specific crisis, I think ours will last 6 months longer. Now, my prediction assumes that no more big dominoes fall, because if they do, then crypto winter would extend even more. For example, we gotta keep a close eye on Genesis and Digital Currency Group, because they are huge players in the crypto world, and they're hurting from this FTX fallout. DCG is also the owner of the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, so if they had to unwind their 600,000 plus BTC trust, then that would be nuclear winter for us. Now, I'm not trying to FUD, and I actually think they'll be okay, but I just wanted to point out some other potential dominoes, which, if they fell, would increase the amount of contagion in our ecosystem. But you know what sucks? FTX and Genesis were both heavily used by institutional investors, and now that one has collapsed and the other is teetering, all I'm wondering is, will institutions leave crypto forever? Put yourself in their shoes. They saw FTX and Genesis as extremely safe and professional companies, but both have turned out to be incompetent clown shows. So institutions are probably like, we're done with crypto, back to traditional finance for us. Now, to be honest, I don't think they're leaving forever, but I do agree with Kevin O'Leary that they are not coming back until there's some more regulation in place that protects them from these types of fiascos. Okay, so the institutions may be gone, but what about the influencers and celebrities? Are they leaving crypto too? After all, a lot of them have started to distance themselves from crypto after FTX. Like Tom Brady, for example. He removed his laser eyes profile pic soon after the collapse, and he was one of the biggest advocates. I mean, he even appeared with SBF in multiple videos before.
What's up, guys? I'm here with my boy Sam from FTX. We're at Crypto Bahamas conference.
Also, a bunch of finance YouTubers have recently apologized or deleted their content that was associated with FTX. So it seems like they're done with crypto for good. But I'm actually going to be a contrarian here and say that this is just temporary bear market behavior. After all, many of us quit crypto as well during the last bear market, but came back as the bull market returned. So I predict that these influencers and celebrities are no different from us, and they'll be back. Okay, but if institutions and influencers think that this saga was a clown show, can you imagine what the regulators are thinking? They're probably furious right now. And that's why I'm wondering, what will regulators do about this? I definitely think they're going to pass some crypto laws sooner rather than later. But maybe not that DCCPA bill that Sam was pushing, because that's now tainted by association. But there is a stablecoin bill that's been waiting in the sidelines, and I can see that being pushed through in the near future. I just hope that whatever they pass is innovation friendly, and it won't push more crypto businesses overseas, because arguably, that's what enabled FTX to run wild in the first place. Speaking of regulators, I'm also wondering, did Gary Gensler actually save us? Because I wasn't able to use FTX International as a US resident, and it's mostly users of that exchange that lost their money. Most, if not all, of their US entities are solvent. The new CEO of FTX, John J. Ray III, confirmed that himself in his first court filing. So you could make the argument that the regulations worked and protected us. But on the other hand, maybe FTX International could have been built in the US and under proper regulatory frameworks if the SEC wasn't hell-bent on prosecuting crypto companies. So there's definitely two sides to the debate here. Now, unfortunately, no one was able to save the users of FTX International. And that makes me wonder, will those creditors ever get their money back? Well, given that a lot of FTX assets are illiquid, like their Solana ecosystem tokens, or their venture portfolio, I'm tempted to say no. Because most of the time, these bankruptcy proceedings only return pennies on the dollars for their creditors. But there is some hope though. Like if one of the FTX venture companies ends up going to the moon during the next bull market, then they could sell their shares or tokens to get some money to pay their creditors with. Another way they could generate money is by selling FTX subsidiaries. A lot of those have solvent balance sheets and are working with platforms with a real user base. So perhaps players like Ripple or Justin Sun could buy those and get the FTX bankruptcy group more money to return. Now, if we're going to talk about people who've been hurt by this fiasco, we gotta talk about the folks in the Solana world. Both FTX and Alameda were huge players in the Solana ecosystem. So with them gone, I'm wondering, is it over for Solana? Well, based on the stats, it sure looks like it. Sol fell 50% in the days following the FTX collapse, and the total value locked in their ecosystem dropped close to 70% in the past month. So yeah, Solana is reeling, and their community is left picking up the scraps. For example, some devs are creating a new version of Serum, because that is an important protocol for Solana, but it was controlled by FTX. Personally, I don't think Solana is dead. I think they can claw their way out of this as long as they continue to build and work harder than ever before. That said, I do think that Sol will be one of the worst performers this bear market. It could even drop down to $3, which could be a great buying opportunity in my opinion. But you know what's still bothering me about this whole saga? It's that hack. I'm still wondering, what's the truth about that hack? For some time, we thought it was just Sam sending funds to Bahamian custody, as the regulators directed. But that's not actually the case here, because there was definitely some nefarious hacker that gained control of hundreds of millions worth of FTX funds. Now, everyone is saying that it was an inside job, and I actually tend to believe that, because just think about it, the timing was so curious. How did the hacker get root access to the FTX wallet so quickly and right before the bankruptcy team was about to gain control of the funds? I mean, we do know that the FTX executives had terrible security practices, but even then, why would the hacker not have taken advantage of that in the years beforehand? Nothing adds up here, and I hope the hacker is somehow caught so we can get some answers. Now, the final, but arguably most important question I'm wondering is, does anything good come out of this long term? Well, I sure hope so. I hope that centralized exchanges all do proof of reserves and proof of liabilities in the future. I hope that big players like Coinbase and Binance take the lead and implement the technology that Vitalik proposed that lets people trustlessly verify that an exchange is solvent. But besides that, I hope to see more focus on DeFi protocols that don't require a central intermediary at all. I hope to see a stronger focus on self-custody, and I hope we get better at spotting red flags in the future. Personally, I'm going to be way more skeptical of mercenaries like SBF who come into our space just to milk some money out of it. And I will instead support missionaries like Brian Armstrong, who built Coinbase back when Bitcoin was like $5 and no one even knew it would survive. So those were my 14 burning unanswered questions regarding FTX. Let me know if you have any questions that are still unanswered. And be sure to sign up for our free digital event with Caleb and Brown, and sign up for our newsletter for continued coverage of all things FTX. Links below in the description.